Good afternoon. My name is Mike Van Tassel. I'm a captain with the Columbia Southern Fire Department, and I wanted to talk to you today about residential fires, statistics with those as far as deaths, and preventative measures that you can take, and if you come across this situation, ways to get out and stay out safely. Specific topics: why do people die in residential fires? What steps can you take toward prevention? Recommended evacuation measures to take, and cue recognition process and the determination of exit selection. According to U.S. Fire Administration, in the years between 2013 and 15, thermal burns and smoke inhalation were the primary symptoms leading to death, accounting for 90% of all fatalities in residential fires. Bedrooms at 51% were the leading specific location the civilian fire fatalities occurred in residential buildings. So what does this tell us? Obviously, we're our own worst enemy when it comes to fire prevention. By that I mean these statistics represent a real issue of lack of prevention in our part inside our own homes. Steps for changing this course of these numbers and forcing them to decrease is dependent on each of us to be proactive. Simple steps like maintaining working smoke alarms and practicing safe cooking operations are critical. Always change your batteries twice a year. A good way to remember that is time change, spring and fall. This simple step may save your life. Not only replace the batteries, make sure you have enough smoke alarms to suffice, the area of your home. Each bedroom needs a smoke alarm, the hallway. You can't be too safe. Additionally, you must not ever leave your stove unattended when you're cooking. Many kitchen fires are started simply because food left on the stove for too long gets overheated and the fire gets into the cabinets and whatnot. So if you're cooking and you're right there with it, if you do have a little flare up, you should be able to correct it immediately and prevent a house fire. So moving on to evacuation. If you experience the unfortunate event of a house fire, the main thing is to remember not to panic. I know this is a bit of a cliche, but it's true. If you are able to control your emotions, attempt to remain calm, you will save much needed breath you may need to exit safely. Residential fires will occur when you least expect them. A time period from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. count for over 51% of civilian fires. This time period also accounted for 47% of fatal fires. Important thing to remember that if you are awakened from the smoke of a fire, know that the fire is well developed and it's on its way, so you need to get out because time is really not on your side. If you're trying to escape a fire, steps to consider: if you can get to the fire room and shut the door on it, that would potentially smother the fire and hopefully keep it from spreading. Of course, if you can't get to that, don't worry about it. Just get out and stay out. Close all the doors between you and the fire if you can. If you're stuck in a room and you can't get out, stuff blankets in the cracks of the door and such. Hopefully you'll have your phone or access to communication when you call 911. Tell them exactly where you are. Get by the window. If you can't get out the window safely, wait for the first responders and wave your flashlight or with your phone and hopefully signal them where they can come rescue you. Lastly, when you get out, don't re-enter the structure. When you get out, stay out. The best thing you can do is provide information to the first responders exactly where the fire is, and if there's other family members or friends inside, you can direct them and tell them where to go. Lastly, decision making. Research from community evacuations during disasters and building fire evacuations has shown that before individuals performed an action, they received certain cues, interpreted the situation, and based the risks on these cues. They made a decision about what to do. So what does this mean? Simply put, when a person is placed in a situation like a house fire, the mindset enters a mode of survivability. It is during this time that we think of cue recognition. Simply stated, when we receive a cue by something like our smoke alarm sounding in the middle of the night, we are triggered to respond. Hopefully we do respond, we react rationally and exit the structure safely. However, as mentioned, if panic sets in, then we may resort to something extreme as jumping out the window if we feel threat is imminent. I know that seems a bit extreme, but it is a real possibility. I know we've covered a lot of information in a short period of time, but the takeaway here is prevention and how to react if you're forced into a fire situation. I hope that none of you ever deal with a house fire, but statistically it may happen. So just remember to be proactive with smoke alarms, practice safe cooking habits, and if using space heaters, make sure they're not close to anything combustible. I hope this helps. As always, if you need any further information, you can reach out to the Columbia Southern Fire Prevention Bureau, and we'll be glad to assist you. Thank you for your time.